And apparently there is just way too much to talk about pertaining to Jussie Smollett. Everyone is pissed, okay? Even the politicians who aren't talking, you know they're embarrassed and they're withholding, they're waiting, but come on. When Trevor Noah's coming out, if you saw my video this morning, we have a couple stories here. This one's from Fox News. Celebrity Jussie Smollett supporters grapple with hoax reports. Heavens! There was a comment section on some comment sections, a lot of comments from individuals begging this to be a real hate crime. They said, please be real, please be real. Like, you're really wishing that a hate crime happened? You're getting crazy here. You're getting crazy, okay? But now we have this story from Fox News. Let's read through it. As reports that Empire actor Jussie Smollett may have choreographed his alleged assault pileup, some celebrities are having a hard time aligning the headlines with their initial support, and two have even pointed fingers at police. In fact, one individual, I believe from the Daily Beast, deleted his original tweet and then tweeted how he was basically taken for a ride and he's upset and pissed off. And I think bravo, respect to everybody who tweeted saying, you know, Trump is racist and all this stuff following the Smollett attack, and he's making this happen. To those who retracted those statements and apologized, you have my respect. We must give people the opportunity for forgiveness. You want to come out and jump the gun? I can understand. You know, I just made a video about Majid Nawaz, and I was furious, but I made a thread about it, but I tried, you know, sheathing my blade and putting down the pitchfork, because I don't want to run full speed in like a Covington thing, like a Smollett thing, and just be like, okay, let's be reasonable and rational here. I don't blame people for being angry. I don't blame them for trusting Jussie. The issue here is not the individuals who are furious. The issue is Jussie is a terrible person who took advantage of people's goodwill. I do think it's fair to ask these celebrities, why is it did you fall for this and many people didn't? Why is it that many journalists fell for this while others didn't? And why do they fall for so many other hoaxes? Okay, you've got a bias. But giving people a chance to recognize that and move on and better themselves is paramount, is absolutely what we must strive for. I'll say this too. If you want to convince someone to join your side, you have to forgive them. And you have to be nice. You do. A lot of people don't care. They just want to be angry, and they want to attack symbols of what they think represents their oppression. But that's not going to change anything. Emotional satisfaction will not lead to the betterment of your life. But let's carry on. Rapper Cardi B posted a profanity-filled Instagram live video expressing disappointment in Smollett, while leaving open the possibility that the actor is being set up by racist police officers. Okay. All right. I'll say this. Chicago has a really bad history. I'm from Chicago. So I will say, you know, the police have done some pretty horrible. You know, do you know that Chicago police? Okay, I'm going to say allegedly because I don't have the source in front of me, but there were a lot of stories circulating about what's called a black site, torture facility. It was unmarked, unknown location where they would bring people and torture them. There was a cop in Chicago. What was his name? He would electrocute people. He would, God, man, tip of my tongue. You can Google this. He would electrocute people into forced confessions. So yeah, Chicago, you're not doing so well. However, at a certain point, you got to say, listen, this dude's story, Smollett, it's a crazy story from the beginning. You know, we gave him the benefit of the doubt, and then evidence emerged. So while I can distrust the police, I distrust him more. I just do. We've got good reporters in Chicago. It's not just the police. It's reporters who are looking into this, who are digging up evidence. And I'm going to say if the police and the journalists are on this side, even though a lot of the reporting is coming from police sources, there's still journalists who are doing the groundwork. And I'm like, if it looks like a duck, you know, but let's carry on. I'm not going to say yet until he says out of his mouth that it was fake and the S was staged. I don't want to completely blame him because somebody that I was talking to, they said police in Chicago are racist. And so they might probably be trying to frame him and make him look like he's a liar. That makes no sense. But if he's not, then bro, you effed up. Okay. The likelihood that police framed Jussie Smollett, it's insane. Okay. Do the police do terrible things in Chicago? They have. Do all of the police? No, but there is, to a certain extent, you know, corruption within Chicago's government, including the police force. Would the police go out of their way to frame a celebrity? No, that's insane. The police do screw up things and some cops have done forced confessions and things like that. But there's still a specific connection to the electrocuting and torturing people, which is psychotic and corrupt, by the way. And this, the difference is, the police in Chicago might steamroll someone, meaning they suspect someone of a crime and they pick somebody up outside of a crime, like where a crime took place. They investigate. You did it. I don't care if it's true or not. We're gonna throw the book at you, and we're gonna steamroll you. In this instance, this was the victim. Jussie Smollett was the person reporting the crime. Chicago police aren't going to, like, they don't regularly torture victims. They don't regularly take people who walk in saying, I want to file a police report and say, you're under arrest. We're accusing you. That's ridiculous. Yes, the police in Chicago can do bad things. Hands down. Like I said, I live there. I've experienced this firsthand. The idea that they're trying to frame him for literally no reason, that's crazy. Much like Cardi B, actress Ava DuVernay is skeptical of law enforcement. I did talk about this in another video. Despite the inconsistencies, I can't blindly believe Chicago PD, the department that covered up the shooting of Laquan McDonald over a dozen times, that operated an off-site torture facility. That one, I'll wait. Whatever the outcome, this won't stop me from believing others. It can't. And so, like I said, I can respect that to a certain degree. I just think we're leaning in the other direction here. I can be critical of the police in Chicago. I have been many times. I was pulled over at gunpoint once, okay, for doing nothing. And our car was surrounded. They took our IDs. It was a weird, terrifying situation. No idea what happened. They just claimed that our car matched a description. But yeah, it was essentially a violation of our Fourth Amendment rights. And there's other stories. But am I going to believe, like, they cut us loose? I don't know what their point was. But am I going to believe that they're just trying to frame Jussie for no reason? What? No. Like, I mean, maybe there's a weird reason we just don't know about, but I still think that's, it's a conspiracy theory, man. The simple solution tends to be the real one. DuVernay sent a follow-up tweet after a fan pointed out inconsistencies in Smollett's version of events. He might have lied. He might be not have. I don't know, but what do I know? I never believe police on general principle just because they say so. My experience, our history makes it impossible for me to do so. She said, yes, sir, I hear you and agree. I wrote that there are inconsistencies. And that's the more important point. You've got 3 people in the area, the 2 brothers and him, no one else. What are you going to do? On Saturday, a Chicago police spokesperson said Smollett is no longer considered a victim in the case that allegedly involved an attack by 2 masked men who shouted racial anti-slurs. We know that stuff. Police earlier said that the trajectory of the investigation shifted and that they wanted to conduct another interview with Smollett. We know that stuff. I've got another story we can talk about. Over the weekend, citing reports, police sources who Smollett orchestrated the attack. So I think they're just rehashing the story at this point. I'm not going to read through that because I've got another story from the Daily Beast. From the Daily Wire, highlighting an op-ed from the Daily Beast. Weird, circuitous storytelling. Smollett debacle playing right into Trump's hands. Congratulations, Jussie Smollett. You orchestrated, potentially. I have to say potentially because I don't know what point we're cleared to say it. Actually, I think at this point we can say it's a hoax. So Jussie Smollett, by many metrics, orchestrated a hoax because he wanted to prove Trump supporters were racist, I guess. But lying to prove a point is not proving the point. It's just manipulating people. And you've done the exact opposite. You've empowered Trump and his base, and you have forever besmirched conspiracy time. What if Jussie is actually a Trump supporter? And the reason he staged this horrible, poorly thought out plan, it's like Batman at the end of The Dark Knight. He's saying, he's being the hero that we need, not the one we deserve, or whatever that means. I'm kidding. Let's read on. In a piece for the left-leaning Daily Beast Monday, columnist Matt Lewis explains how progressive politicians and media personalities have played right into Trump's hands by uncritically buying claims by fakers like embattled actor Jussie Smollett appears to be. The reason hate hoaxes are being promoted so frequently and so readily believed by progressives, Lewis suggests, is that victimhood has now eclipsed heroism and success in cultural cachet. Once upon a time, fakers posed as heroes and winners. We called them posers. Writes Lewis, the reason, of course, is that our culture valued them. Now Americans, including Smollett, apparently want to be viewed as victims. Smollett's story appears ready to join the Duke, Lacrosse, and University of Virginia rape in a long line of hoaxes that many media outlets and political leaders were quick to fall for because it fit their preferred narrative. It's not enough that Donald Trump is a bad president. We are hell-bent on the idea that he has lit the match of hatred that incites and inspires violence. This theory explains why we were quick to believe the worst about those smirking white MAGA hat-wearing Covington kids, and it's why we were quick to believe the Smollett story too. While Lewis expresses some sympathy for this gullibility, as it relates to stories that align with his left-wing narrative, he sounds the alarm over how politicians and media types repeatedly exposing their bias and blind spots is going to play out in the future. It's easy to understand the psychological reasons why 21st century posers cast themselves as the injured party, he writes. What's more difficult to comprehend is why an allegedly struggling media industry is so ready to alienate half the country and reinforce Donald Trump's dangerous line about the fake news media in the process. Maybe it's because it's real. And the media is pumping out BS uncritically without fact checking. Did you know journalists are supposed to have three sources to confirm something? They don't do that anymore. They don't. Okay? And therein lies the problem. Uncritically parroting nonsense. Now, local reporting in Chicago did a fantastic job. Several mainstream news outlets, the bigger ones, they did a great job as well. But how many just uncritically parroted this nonsense, demanding justice, attacking Trump, politicizing the attack when we didn't have evidence? I'm going to do a throwback to the story I did just before this about Maajid Nawaz. We still need evidence, and we should take everything rationally and slowly. I think it's fair to call out, racism and violence, but when it's overly political, it's going to be dangerous. Anyway, I got one more video coming up in a few minutes. Stick around. I will see you then.